All right, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, obviously, there have been some massive changes made to UFC 303. We have a new co-main event in Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. We also have a new main event in Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka 2, and I want to break that down in this video. First, I will address the elephant in the room. I was unbelievably incorrect on my prediction on how things would play out, and that's fine, dude. You guys can roast me down in the comments below. I kind of deserve it. I was wrong. It is what it is, dude. Let's move on, okay? So, we will start briefly with the new co-main event, which is Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. This is an unbelievably enticing matchup for me. Okay, I've been very high on Diego Lopez ever since he came into the UFC on short notice, and in my opinion, should have gotten the decision over Movsar Evloev, going for submissions, doing more damage on the feet, and things like that. The only thing that Movsar really had over him in that fight was a whole bunch of control time, okay? But very well-rounded individual, very big for the weight class, extremely fun to watch fight, okay? And Brian Ortega is like the perfect dance partner for him at this point in his career, in my opinion. Brian Ortega, unbelievably tough, obviously, having a comeback win over Yair Rodriguez after he got the absolute shoit beaten out of him, do you know what I mean? And then ended up getting a submission after taking a ton of damage, okay? Now, I am going to be leaning Diego Lopez in this matchup because I feel like Diego Lopez is much more well-rounded than Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez does not have a whole lot of grappling skills, knowledge, and what have you. I remember after he submitted Josh Emmett, he said in his post-fight interview that he had just learned how to lock up a triangle during that fight camp, which is crazy to me. But either way, dude, Diego Lopez, as I said, huge, okay, for the weight class. He's very strong. He is very good in the clinch, where he lands big, short shots like he did on Sadiq Youssef. He's a very good grappler, and that is proven, in my opinion, in the Movsar Evloev fight. And also, he's very good on the feet, and I think that his striking will actually be a little bit better than Brian Ortega, so I think he will be able to damage Ortega on the feet, but I don't think that Ortega is going to be able to just submit him as easily as he would somebody like a Yair Rodriguez or a Cub Swanson or something like that. I could actually see Brian Ortega trying to go for that guillotine that he hit on Cub Swanson, because I have a feeling there will be quite a bit of battle inside the clinch where Diego Lopez is trying to, do some dirty boxing, land some uppercuts and shit like that. So I could see Brian Ortega trying to pull guillotine at least once in this fight. But I do think Diego Lopez ultimately will get the job done, because I think his grappling's good enough to remain safe. His clinch game's good enough to do damage and also remain safe. And I think that on the feet, he will have the slight advantage. Okay, now, let us get to the main event, all right? Which is Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. Obviously, Conor McGregor is out with an alleged injury. We haven't got a whole lot of details on it at this moment, but it is what it is, dude. Listen, I said in my video on what I thought might happen, or how this would all play out, I said there's no fight that could actually replace that in terms of numbers or value, in terms of how much people paid for tickets and things like that. And I would imagine there are going to be quite a few people asking for a refund, just considering how much they paid for these tickets, pretty much just to see Conor McGregor, okay? Which it's very unfortunate for people like that who did purchase tickets just to see Conor McGregor. But for me personally speaking, okay, this is the closest thing we could get to making up for that main event falling out. This fight has much more stakes. It's a much more serious fight. The only problem I have with it is that it is on short notice. I would want much rather Yuri Prochazka have a full camp to try to make some adjustments for Alex Pereira. I would rather have Alex Pereira have a full camp to prepare for Yuri Prochazka. With that being said, I am going to be going with Alex Pereira, because I do think that if you watch Yuri Prochazka's last fight against Alexander Rakic, I don't think he made a whole lot of adjustments, okay? You see him getting hit by a lot of stuff. Alexander Rakic was able to chew his legs up and dish out a ton of damage on Yuri Prochazka, okay? His hands are still down by his waist. He's still very reckless. Now, he does have one of the best chins we have ever seen, maybe, in the sport. The guy's unbelievably tough. And all that happens when he gets hurt is he bangs his chest and nods at you and keeps coming forward. Do you know what I mean? That being said, I don't think that Alexander Rakic is a good representation of Alex Pereira on the defensive side of things, and or maybe even on the heart side of things. Who knows? I think that Alex Pereira, knowing that he's got that one up on him. I just turned my light off. 1 second, dude. My apologies. Knowing that he's already beat him, got that one up on him, knows that he can make Yuri Prochazka think about that setup that he used to clip him with the right uppercut shovel hook with the left hook, the combination that he landed to drop him the body jabs, the calf kicks. If Yuri Prochazka switches to southpaw because his front leg's getting chewed up, we know that Alex Pereira can throw beautiful calf kicks off of his lead leg as well, as shown in the Jamal Hill fight, as shown in previous Israel Adesanya fights and other kickboxing fights as well. So I don't think that I don't think that Yuri Prochazka, shown in the Rakic fight, I don't think he showed us that he made much improvement or much, at the very least, adjustments, defensively speaking, that would make me think this fight goes any differently. I think that Alex Pereira simply has more options now, knowing that he can land almost whatever he wants on Yuri Prochazka. Actually, I would imagine Yuri Prochazka is going to try his absolute best to grapple a little bit more than usual, okay? Because he did have success in that first round, being able to take Alex Pereira down. Now, he wasn't able to dish out a whole lot of damage. He wasn't able to do a whole lot with it. But for that time they're on the ground, he's staying safe, okay? He's also on top, and Alex Pereira is not able to do any damage to him. And shit like that. Do you know what I mean? So, look, dude, this is pretty unfortunate. It is what it is, though. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler was a very exciting fight. Obviously, simply because Conor McGregor was returning, and that brings a lot of eyeballs to the sport and things like that. But this fight, in my opinion, is fantastic. And it wasn't fantastic the first time. There's a little bit of controversy that went along there as well, right? We got the earlier stoppage from Mark Goddard, so opportunity to remedy that as well. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Conor McGregor maybe at this point should just hang it up. And honestly, dude, it is kind of funny to me that Michael Chandler just ruined the latter end of his career waiting for somebody who so many people were telling him was probably not going to return. You're probably not going to get this fight and things like that. And he just wouldn't listen, didn't want to fight anybody else. He could potentially be in a title fight right now if he got a good couple of wins. Do you know what I mean? Islam's now beaten Charles, Dustin. There's not Justin Gaethje just lost. There's not a whole lot of matchups for Islam Makhachev at this point in time. So who knows, dude? Michael Chandler could have been well on his way to a title shot by now in that time that he's been waiting for Conor McGregor. But it is what it is, dude. I guess we'll never know, eh? So, new main event. Both of them fantastic. Obviously, the reason for the new co-main event is that Jamal Hill pulled out of his fight with Carlos Solberg. Anthony Smith is stepping in there. They moved that fight down the card. I think Anthony Smith is probably going to get butchered. But hey, dude, that's just me. I might want to think about it a little bit more. So, like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Roast the fuck out of me for being incorrect. That's perfectly fine, dude. I'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.